You mentioned that the job of the Rotarian was to guide you in every step of the way. What do you think is the best way for Rotarians to be engaged with Interactors? What are your advice?
Well, it's very important that you see Interactors at a very delicate stage of their lives, with young boys, young girls, and learning things. So it's important that the values, the basic foundations of what Interact and Rotary is all about are imparted in the right way. And that is why, in the case of my own situation, I was invited to alternative meetings of the Rotarians, just to go and sit in and listen, hear what they do, and so on. And then something extraordinary happened. I was told, this was about three months down the line. The Rotarians were doing a youth exchange program with my country and a neighboring country called Kenya. And so I was told, because at that time I was vice president of the club, and they felt that I would fit this role. So they said they had selected me to go on an exchange program to Kenya, and a student from Kenya was going to come to Zambia. And I think this is a very important part of my story, and I need to tell you this. When I got to Kenya, I was received by various Rotarians, and each one hosted me for a day or 2 days and so on. And then eventually I was invited to go and stay with the district governor of, in those days, District 920 in Mombasa, a city called Mombasa on the seafront. And his name was Mr. Amir Jan Mohammed. He was Asian background, but Kenyan. And he received me warmly. He had a son called Kasim Jan Mohammed. And he said to Kasim, look after the visitor and so on, but I want him to spend a lot of time with me. So I went with Governor Amir to a number of projects in the Mombasa area. And you know what? I was so impressed. I was so intrigued by this man, his commitment, the heart he was displaying for the community. And I made a resolution at that point. I said, one day, I want to serve as district governor of Rotary.
Wow. I'm hearing so many important points from your story, but particularly two. One of them is that you were introduced to more Rotary programs. I myself had the opportunity to be a youth exchange student from Venezuela to the United States and serve also in RILA. I think there's an immense opportunity for collaboration between Interact, Youth Exchange, and RILA. That's why this year President Jennifer Jones decided to create the Youth Advisory Council, and now we have 2 councils representing the youth in Rotary. The other thing that I heard is that the district leadership include you in projects, showed you the world of Rotary. Do you think that had, when you mentioned that you wanted to be a district governor from them?
Well, that planted the seed, no doubt, because it made me appreciate the importance of Rotary and Interact to our communities. And you have to understand that this is Africa. I come from Africa. And back then, as it is the case, even now in varying degrees, we have a lot of deprivation, a lot of poverty in various communities in Africa. And so to see that there was an organization which was doing so much for communities on a voluntary basis, for me, it hit my heart. And I was just sold. I said, I want to continue with this journey.